Children, how are you? Hope you all are fine and healthy. Shall we start our work education class? Our first topic is AC and DC. Before going to this topic, we will just recollect what we have studied in class 6. Okay. In class 6, at the last term, during the last term, we have studied or we have made a circuit like this. Okay. When I say circuit, it is C-A-R-C-U-I-T. You have to pronounce it as circuit only, not circuit. Okay. So, while we have studied about conductors and insulators last term of class 6, all of you have made a circuit like this with cells. Some have made it with one cell and some have made the circuit with two cells, a small LED bulb and a small switch. Okay. When you switch on this, the bulb glows. Okay. From where the bulb got the current? The bulb got the current and voltage from these two cells. Okay. So these two cells provide the voltage source for the light for the bulb or for the LED bulb to glow. Okay. So this is the voltage source through which the bulb gets current and it will glow. Understood? So this is a source of voltage. So this cell or the two cells combined together, you call it as a battery, is a voltage source and it has given a current when you switch it on and the bulb will glow. Okay. So this is a one type of circuit which you have studied last year and all of you, most of you have done this also. Okay. Now the second circuit which we have made is this, isn't it? Do you remember this? Okay, with a 2-pin plug, what is that? This switch like this and a bulb holder, and you have inserted one bulb. Now here you are using this 2-pin plug for getting the voltage or current to this bulb. Okay, so this 2-pin plug, when I am inserting into this 2-pin socket and switching it on, the bulb glows. So from where this bulb gets current, this bulb glows. From where this bulb got current, the bulb got current from this 2-pin socket. Okay, you have connected it here from this 2-pin socket here. Now, what is the voltage source for this bulb? The voltage source for this bulb is the voltage that is obtained from these two pins. Okay, so this is the point from where the bulb got the voltage and also the current. Whenever there is a voltage, there is also a current flow. Okay, so these two types of currents are different and our topic is to study about these two types of current, AC and DC. Okay, now let us come to this first circuit. Here, from where the bulb got the current? The bulb got the current and voltage from these two cells. What will happen if I take this cell and then connect it in the opposite direction? See, suppose if I am taking, you know that a cell has a positive and negative. Let me remove this one cell here. So what is the symbol of a cell? The symbol of a cell, so this is a cell. See, this is a cell and the symbol of a cell is positive and negative. This is the symbol of a cell, positive and negative. When you connect it together, when you connect two cells together like this, one cell connected to the next cell, you will get the symbol of a battery. So this is the symbol of a battery. Okay, so what will happen in this circuit if I am just connecting the cell in the opposite direction? Suppose if I am connecting positive here and negative here and I switch it on, will the bulb glow? No, the bulb will not glow. So when you insert a cell in the opposite direction, that is positive and negative in the opposite direction, it will not glow. That means a cell has a polarity in the sense a positive and negative terminal and it has to be connected in the way it has to be connected. Okay, suppose if you connect it ulta or in the opposite direction, the voltage source will not work. Now let us see here in this AC circuit, in this the second case. Okay, what happens in the second case? See, just to see this 2-pin plug point, I have just connected this as 2-pin plug and this I have connected like this. Okay, and when I switch it on, the bulb glows. Suppose what happens if I am taking this plug and then connecting it in the opposite direction. I am keeping it like this and then connecting. Just the way we have reversed the cells in this case. Okay. Now if I switch it on, the bulb is glowing. So it means in this source there is no polarity, in the sense you can connect it in either way. You can connect it in either way, like this also, and also in the opposite direction. In both the way the bulb will glow. Understood? So these two currents are our topic today. We are going to study in detail about these two types of current. Now the current which we have studied, which I have shown here, this is called DC or direct current. So DC means it is direct current. Direct current. I will tell you why it is called a direct current. Okay. Now here this is called AC or alternating current. Alternating in the sense changing. It is a changing current. And what is it changing? We will study. So this is just an introduction. Hope this much is clear to you. You are going to study about AC and DC. So now we will study about first alternating current or AC. Okay, alternating current or AC. So from the name itself it is clear, it is alternating or changing. Let us see what is its changing. It is changing its value or magnitude. Magnitude means its value, and it changes its direction also. So which are the two things that it is changing? Alternating current means a current which changes its magnitude and direction with respect to time. With respect to time. So what is the definition for alternating current? Alternating current is a current which changes its magnitude and direction with respect to time. Suppose if you draw its graph with voltage taken in the x-axis and time in the y-axis. Okay, this is the time which is taken in the x-axis and voltage taken in the y-axis. Sorry, time is taken in the x-axis and voltage is taken in the y-axis. Okay. Suppose if you are going to plot the value or the graph of this AC, what you get is like this. Okay. That is, the value starts from 0. At first it starts from 0. Then it slowly increases and goes to the maximum positive value. Here it is having the maximum positive value. Here it is having the maximum positive value. Then again it slowly comes down and reaches to 0. So it decreases. First it starts increasing from 0. It goes to a maximum positive value. Then again it decreases to 0. And still further it decreases to the minimum negative value like this, and then it slowly comes. So it slowly decreases to the minimum negative value. So this is a minimum negative value it is having. So this is a minimum negative value it is having, and from there it slowly starts increasing and comes back to 0. Like this, it will repeat for several times like that. Okay, you can draw any number of curves like this, waves like this. So this is wave. In higher classes when you go, you will call it as a sine wave. This is called as a sine wave. For your sake, just I told that is all. Because you will study it when you go to class 11th and 12th. Okay, now that is of not any importance to you here. What is that? Understand that this wave is called as a sine wave. Sine wave. So this is the graph, or this is how the alternating current or the current which is obtained from these two pins will look like when you draw it in a graph. So these alternating currents or these currents can be viewed in some meters, and when you see it in the meters, it will be like this. Okay, you can see it in an instrument called oscilloscope. If you see it in oscilloscope, the voltage or the current will look like this. The curve will look like this. Okay, so this is a waveform of AC. This is the waveform of AC. So the AC waveform, how it looks? What is my alternating current? An alternating current means a current whose magnitude and direction changes with respect to time. And how the waveform looks like? The waveform, it starts from 0, time axis, x-axis you are plotting the time, y-axis you are plotting the voltage. Then how the AC voltage looks like? The AC voltage will start increasing from 0. It starts from 0, it slowly increases to a maximum value, then comes back to 0, again it decreases to the minimum negative value, and then again slowly starts increasing and comes to 0. So this much one is called one cycle. You will study about the different terms in the next class. So this is the waveform of AC. Is that clear to you? This is called alternating current. And now what is the value of alternating current or this AC voltage that you are getting? Do you know in your house how much voltage you get? The magnitude of AC voltage that we get in our houses, it ranges from 220 voltage to 240 voltage. So this is the magnitude of AC or the value of AC that we get for our domestic purposes. Okay. Now let us just check it by using a multimeter, and let us see whether how much voltage we are getting. Okay. So let us measure this value of voltage by means of a multimeter. Okay. This meter is called a multimeter, and this is used to check voltage, current and resistance. Okay. Now I am going to put this into 750 voltage AC. This is a symbol for AC voltage, and I have put it in 750, and I am going to measure the voltage. This is the power socket where I am going to insert this positive and negative, and I am going to switch it on. You see how much voltage we are getting. It is showing 232, 33. It is varying like this. Okay. So you can approximately you can take it as 230 voltage. So from this socket now you are getting 230 to 232 and 231. So you can approximately take it as 230 voltages. Okay. Have you seen this? Okay. Now we have seen the voltage that you obtain from an AC source. What is the voltage that you are getting from the voltage source? It is approximately 230 to 232 voltage. Okay. Now you please don't attempt this in your home. Even if you have a meter like this, you please don't measure it, because either the meter may be damaged, or you may cause some other problem in your house if you do it at home. So please don't do it at home even if you have a meter like this. Okay. Just for this sake I have shown you how much voltage you are getting. It is 220 to 240 voltage. Okay. So from where you get this AC? You get AC from the power stations. Okay. At home we are getting it from electricity board, from the electricity, but who is giving power to the electricity board? It is from the power stations it is obtained, and from the power stations it is transmitted. It is then given to the substations, and from the substations it is then directly given to the customer. So this is called the transmission and distribution of power. This in detail you will study in class 10. Okay. So briefly I will tell you, that is in the power is obtained or generated. AC is generated in the power stations. And there are different types of power stations. We will see what are the different types of power stations. So AC is produced in the power stations, and then in a huge amount it is produced there. Okay, that is from 11 kV to 25 kV. kV means into 1000. So 11,000 voltage to 11,000 voltage to 25,000 voltage is being produced in the power stations, and it is then it is then stepped down, and it is distributed, transmitted and distributed to the different substations. Okay, and from the substations it is being delivered or transmitted to the distributed to the consumers. We are called consumers. Okay, so that is the transmission and distribution of the electricity, that is AC power. Okay, now what is the principle behind a power station? See, in class 6 you have studied about magnet, isn't it? So magnet has a north pole and a south pole. Magnet has a north pole and a south pole. Okay, and suppose this is a horseshoe magnet. We have studied different types of magnets also. This is a horseshoe magnet and its ends are north pole and south pole. I have just drawn here only the north pole and the south pole. Okay, so we are going to study about the principle of a power station. Principle of a power station, how electricity or how AC is generated in a power station. That is the principle behind any power station. This is the common principle behind any type of power station. That is, it has a magnet having a north pole and south pole, and if there is a magnet, there will be a magnetic field around it. These are called the magnetic field lines. These are called the magnetic field lines. Okay, so there exists some force, some magnetic force around this magnet, and this is called the magnetic field. That is the space around which a magnet where its influence is felt. Okay, so these are the magnetic field lines. Now suppose if you move a copper coil to and fro in this magnetic field, it can produce current. Okay, so this is a coil, armature you call it as, and there will be a turbine connected to this, a turbine which has so many teeth like structures like this. Okay, a big turbine will be connected to this armature. This is called the armature. A coil of wires stacked together, this is called the armature. It is then connected to a turbine. Now what happens? When you rotate this turbine, this coil will rotate. So when the coil rotates, in this magnetic field, current is generated, AC is generated. So this is the principle behind any power station. That is, the principle of a power station is that if an armature or a coil of wire is placed inside a magnetic field and it is moved or rotated, what happens? Current is generated. Now who will move this armature? Who will move this armature? There are different types of energies which can move this armature. You can use water energy, you can use thermal energy, or you can use nuclear energy. So based on the type of energy that you are using, the power stations are classified into hydroelectric power station, thermal power station, and nuclear power station. Okay, so these are the power stations, different types of power stations from where you get AC. Just in brief I have told you. In detail you will study this in class 10. So for the sake of class 7th, what you have to understand, the principle behind any power station is that when a coil is placed inside a magnetic field and the coil is rotated, what happens? AC is generated, a power is generated, and based on the type of energy that is used, power stations can be classified into hydroelectric power stations, thermal power stations and nuclear power stations. Okay, the hydroelectric power station uses water energy to rotate the turbine, that is water will be stored in a dam, so that this water energy is used to and it will be allowed to fall from a height and then it will rotate the turbine, and this is thermal energy. Boiled water or steam is used. Steam is used as energy and coal is used as the energy source. Okay, coal is used as a fuel. So water will be boiled to a very high temperature and then the steam caused by the boiling of water will be used to rotate the turbine, and this is nuclear power station which uses nuclear force. Okay, so these are the different types of power station.